All right, it's the 12th of Feb. Um, it's a Wednesday. We have CPI today. We've got about 30 minutes, just under 30 minutes to the NY Open. We're going to get to the charts in a second. Okay. Hope it's all good here. I think we're good. All right. Okay, so let's start with the calendar. Let's see. So today we've got CPI, right? That's the big one for the week. We've got a whole hour, almost an hour for CPI, so we're not going to be taking any trades um, until then. Whatever setups that I look for, any trades that I take is going to be at CPI or after CPI, right? It's not going to be anything before that. Um, all right, so that's the big one. That's the only big one today. Tomorrow we have PPI, and then on Friday we have retail sales. So it's a busy week. Yeah. All right, just a second. So we've got plenty of time for analysis today. There are a few other things also I will talk about. I got a question about these weekly SR levels. I will address that today, hopefully within the first 30 minutes. All right. So let's look at the daily, what the daily has done. So yesterday we have a doji, like a bearish doji candle that closed below 2900, right? So that's a rejection. That's a rejection wick up there, right? So let's see. Yeah, that's a fair rejection. So we'll need to see a couple of more, probably another daily tap here into this area to see if that is weekly resistance forming right there, right? We'll have to see another tap, at least on the daily, another tap there, just like we have here. We have one tap here and one tap here and another tap here. So you see these three taps, and that's the reason we have 2882 mark there. And yesterday it did work, price did uh, touch 2882 and did push up this weekly resistance level, right? I'll talk about that further later. So on the daily, basically, we have nothing to the left again because we're at all-time highs. We've been at all-time highs for a while now, right? But we have a close below 2900, and today's daily candle has already broken the previous day low, okay? But has no top wick, not much of a top wick. Got to keep that in mind. Not much of a top wick on the daily candle. So at any time, price can always pull back up, create that top wick, and then push down, right? For price to grab liquidity, there are several places for price to grab liquidity on its way down, to grab liquidity to head back up. And one is 2882. We saw that happen yesterday, so that's still a valid area, 2882. Then you have on the daily time frame. I'm talking about the daily time frame. When I'm talking about supply demand, I'm referring to the daily time frame because we're on the daily chart here. Um, right. So this this demand level right here, a rally, two basin candles and a rally. There's a demand level or daily demand level. And then below that, there is 2850, which is a liquidity area. And then there is another weekly support, the weekly SR level at 2834. Again, the reason for that is because of the touch there, and price almost came there, so I've had it at 2834. Again, these two levels are not permanent yet. They might change by a few dollars depending on how daily structure and weekly structure forms. Okay. Yeah, we'll come back to this later. We'll come back to weekly SR levels later. Let's go to our trading chart. Let's do a quick recap before we draw zones. Let's do a quick recap of what happened yesterday, the ideas that I gave out, think I gave out a buy idea, right? Yeah, it was only a buy idea. Yeah. So I said wait for a 30-minute candle close above to 900, right? Or a 15-minute candle close above the London low, which is there. So we had a 30-minute candle close above the to 900. Okay, let's just go down to the 15-minute. I want to see what happened on the 15-minute. Yeah, we had a 15-minute close also above the London low, which is there. But more importantly, we had a 30-minute close above to 900, anticipating price to push up. So I said, wait for the pullback, wait for price to pull back, and then take the trade up. Now, I would have not taken this trade because the next candle, 30-minute candle, closed below the London low and 2900, right? So I wouldn't have taken any buys, nor would I have taken any sells because we are back. Price has closed above this zone, not inside the zone or below the zone, right? The 30-minute candle closed above the zone. So for me, there are no sells because it closed above the zone. If it had closed inside the zone towards the bottom 1/3 of the zone, or closed at the bottom of the zone, or outside the zone, maybe sells. I would have looked to take sells, but because it closed in fact just above, just like probably a pip or less above the zone, there were no sells. But there were no buys either because we have now M30 resistance form, right? And it's formed at a key area. We spoke about this several times. I said, look at this, 2900 price has tried many times to close below, couldn't. It's been closing above, closed below, then immediately closed above, and we headed up, right? So whenever price is below 2900, it seems to be pushing down. Whenever it's above 2900, it pushed up, right? So once we had a close below, there are no buys because there is no certainty. The chance, as I said, there is a uh, the likelihood of price going up is cut by 50%. As soon as you have a 30-minute candle close against you, we formed resistance during high volume time. That's what's important to remember. We've formed resistance during high volume time, right? If this happened during maybe the Asian session or in between the London session and the pre-NY session and the pre-NY open, I wouldn't have, it wouldn't have mattered much. But during high volume time, we have a 30-minute candle close at a key level below 2900 and below the London low, close back below. No buys and no sells also because we have closed above this zone. This is a zone that we have marked. So we closed below the zone, we closed back in the zone, then we closed above the zone, then we closed back in the zone. So all what happened here, if you don't see the right of the chart, if you look at this bit only, all you see is price ranging. That's all what price is doing. It's just closing back above, it's closing below, closing above, closing below. Price is ranging. So when price is ranging, it's best to stay away from the market, right? Because it's not ranging at an extreme. You got to always keep that in mind. When price is ranging, it's ranging in the middle of a zone, not um, at at an extreme, right? You want to look to take trades always from the extreme. Those kind of trades. So if you sell high or buy low, right? So which means you're trading at extremes. If you're trading at the extreme, those are the areas that will give you a low risk, high reward, high probability trade. So this is in the middle because we've broken through the zone already. So this is in the middle. The extreme is here. Here there is an area to sell, and here there is an area to buy. And this is in the middle. All of this is happening in the middle. So there are no trades basically, right? Okay. Um, right. We'll quickly. Okay, we'll do the zones. Just a second. Okay. Go to the 4 hour. Okay. Um, let's start with supply because the price is pushing down. Let's start with supply. We have a drop here, a drop, two basin candles, and a drop. Okay, that is clear. We have a drop, two basin candles, and a drop. So let's put the numbers on that. That high is 0.76 and this open is 244. 2.44. Okay. And above that, we have a kind of a zone here as well. We have a drop, we have two basin candles and a drop, but this candle hasn't closed below. We'll have to look at the 1 hour on this one, for this one, because it's just, you can consider this as an entire base there, 165 pip zone, and consider this as the leg in, the drop, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 basin candles and drop. That would be right too. But because there is a break here, I want to, and then price kind of moved away from that and came down and create another base. I want to take a look at that area on the 1 hour and try to split this into two zones instead of using one zone. Yeah, on the 1 hour, I would do this. You have a rally, three basin candles and a drop. Yeah, and then the drop. Yeah, that would be better. Yeah, yeah. 472, 234, 866, sorry. So we have a drop, a base, a drop. It's clear on the 1 hour. On the 1 hour, it looks like a rally, a base, and a drop. And then we have this 4 hour zone here that we marked on the 4 hour. So that is 4 hour supply. That's the closest one. And above that also is 4 hour supply, but visible on the 1 hour. So I'm not going to put a label there. Okay. Now I'm going to extend this to the right. That's the zone that we had drawn yesterday. Price didn't get there. I'm going to extend this liquidity candle to the right as well. Price is falling though. That's important to remember. Price is dropping. Yeah, it's dropping. Okay, we're going to extend these to the right. This price hasn't come through them yet. We've just touched it now, but we haven't broken through it yet. So I'm going to extend these zones to the right. That's a large zone that we have marked yesterday, the day before, in fact. And then we have this zone here. So price mostly ranged during the NY session yesterday. It didn't really do much. You can see the 4 hour candles. Price pulled up, pulled down, it pushed down, grabbed liquidity from 2882, which was a weekly SR level, a weekly support level, pushed back up and then just stayed there for the rest of the NY session. And then very slowly moved down because in anticipation for CPI. So there's nothing happening right now or during the day. Now we'll have to cover a large area today because it's CPI. We got about 320 pips. That's the highest we can go. That's about 600 pips covered. We'll have to extend these to the right as well. Okay, extend this to the right as well. There's whatever's left of this zone. There's that little bit left. extend this to the right as well. Yeah, so we've covered about 700 pips to the downside. That's perfect. We don't need any more than that today. Okay, so I'm going to extend these liquidity candles also to the right. Again, we drew all of these yesterday, so I'm not going to redraw them now. Just going to extend them to the right. You can always watch any of my streams, the first 30 minutes of the stream basically shows how I draw these zones, um, how I identify high liquidity zones, and how I identify high liquidity candles. Okay. That's a 220 pip zone, 215 pip zone. Very large zone. Okay. All right. So save this. Okay. Next step is we have some new zones, a couple of new zones here. So I'm going to see if these are high liquidity zones or not, right? Let's look at the 1 hour. Yeah, so this zone here did take out this these lows, this demand level on the 1 hour. You have a drop, you have a rally. There is demand right there on the 30-minute or the 15-minute. It'll be very visible, but you can see it on the 1 hour. You can see that there is a candle that's pushed up. So this move that from here, it took out that low. So this is a high liquidity zone. And then the one above here also took out this demand level. You have a rally, a base, and a rally. And this moved down, took out that low there. So this would have been the base as a 60 pip base, and we took out that. So that too is a high liquidity zone. Okay, right. Now, next step is to identify a high liquidity candle in these high liquidity zones. Okay. If price pushes up, where is it going to grab liquidity? From this zone, we have to see if there's a high liquidity candle here, right? So on the 1 hour, so what I basically do is in that zone, I look for the largest candle, right? We have that's a 98 pip candle. That's the largest one so far. Let's go down to the 30-minute and still see if that's the candle. No, it's not. That's 69. It's 59. That is 81. That one right there. It's an 82 pip candle. Okay, let's go down to the 15-minute. The 69 pip candle. 52, 58, 51. Yeah, this one right here. Yeah, that's better. Mm-hmm. Yeah, this one right here. 769088. Okay, and we got a zone high, above that. Let's check for a liquidity candle in that as well. That is, this would be this candle. That's a 67 pip candle. $48, 60. $36, 40. Yeah, this would be the candle. We've tapped it already, just a bit. 651064. 064. Okay. Yeah, so that's the analysis. And now we have to wait. Wait for news to come out. Um, yeah, we have to wait for news to come out. Because a lot of time for news. You got another 30 minutes, 35 minutes for news. Plenty of time. Yeah, we might just. It doesn't seem like there's much liquidity here. Push through and spike down. It's very weak liquidity going up because price is coming down so slowly. There is better liquidity up here than here. Well, let's see. Okay. Yeah, we're just waiting. No, there's nothing happening. All right. Okay, so these are the zones, right? These are the zones. I did say that we were going to talk about weekly SR levels. We have a lot of time. We've got over 30 minutes until news. So Okay, so basically these levels are drawn, all of these levels are drawn based on the number, they're basically support resistance levels. That's all that they are on the higher time frame, right? So it depends on the number of touches. So if it has any more than 3, 4 touches, I do mark them. Sometimes there is even more, right? That's how I judge these lines. It takes some practice, getting used to these levels, uh, drawing them. But when you can, if you are new to trading, then you just need to practice. And if you practice on a lower time frame, it's better because you'll have a lot more lines to draw. And it's the same principles that you apply when you're drawing it on the daily time frame or the weekly time frame, right? So if you go up to the if you go up to the weekly time frame, we'll see how price reacts to these levels pretty well, right? You can see the number of touches that we have. We have one here, there is one here, 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 here. You can see how important 2715 is. The same thing here, if you can see how 2787, how important it is, right? You can see the number of weekly touches, right? So on the daily, you'd see a lot more. But on the weekly, you already see 1 week here, here, then there's a cross up and down on the daily here, and then again here. So it's the number of touches. All of these are based off that same principle, right? And the reason I said that these two lines are still probably might change by a few dollars is because I still haven't seen enough touches yet, especially for 2834 and also for 2882, right? For the rest, there are plenty of touches. You can see for the one below that, the one below 2834 is 2787. You can see the number of daily touches on that line. Right? Look at that. That's 2878. That 2787. One candle, two, three, and then four. So there are plenty of touches. So anything more than 3 or 4 touches, I do consider as an important weekly SR level, right? And here you can see there are already 3 touches. Now we had one yesterday, and then we a couple of days ago, and then 2 days before that. So you can see now 2882 how important it's become. And again, price is reacting to 2882 again, right? It's reacting again to it. See, if that wasn't important, price would have just pushed right through. But it is important. So this is the 4th time on the daily we've come there. On the daily, it's the 4th time, right? But if you go down to like the 4 hour, you'd see that price has come there many times. Or on the 1 hour, if you see the 30 minute, see the number of times price has come there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 30-minute candles. 8 30-minute candles touch that line. 8 of them, right? So the higher time frames you go, the higher you go, then there'll be obviously be less touches because there are less candles. But if you go down to the 1 hour, the 4 hour, you'll see that there are a lot more touches, right? So basically on the daily, when I'm drawing these zones, I look at the daily time frame and the weekly time frame, right? And I want to see the number of touches. So on the weekly, if I see, let's say 2 touches, then that becomes a very important zone because on the daily, I'll see a lot more than 2. It'll probably be about 3 or 4 touches, right? So I hope that explains it. Um, if not, let me know in the chat if there's any further question on weekly SR levels, and I'll try to answer them. Yeah, we have a lot of day waiting. We've got another 30 minutes. So price is pushing up again from 2882. But this time it's come to the liquidity candle and it's pushing up from that liquidity candle that we had marked there. So if you look at the 30-minute time frame, there is a liquidity candle right there, that one right there. Just zoom in. This candle right here, and price touched that candle, and we're trying to push up. See, we pushed up, we've closed, we formed support there, and we're pushing up. But again, no trading because it's CPI. We've got to wait for news. We've got to wait for news, right? Price is bearish. We're below the EMAs. right? We're well below the EMAs, prices well below the EMAs. We might have a spike up, grab liquidity and push down. That might happen. So keep that in mind, right? Prices below the EMAs. There is not much liquidity in these two zones because you can see how how long price has taken to get down. When price takes this long, right? So if you look on the 1 hour, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 18 hours to make this move, right? A 230 pip move, roughly about 230, 240, 18 hours. As opposed to, look at that, 1, 2, 3, 4 candles, and we've made, let's take it from the open of the candle. That's a similar move, a 220 pip move. Okay, if you go higher, then it's even larger in 5 candles. 18 candles to make say about a 230 pip move, and 5 candles to make a 230 pip move. So that just tells you there's a lot more liquidity here because we pushed down much harder, much quicker, right? Even outside, it was outside of New York open hours during the Asian, and I think the Asian and it was during the London Asian session. Yeah, the London session, right? Yesterday's London session, and there's a lot more volume to push down. So there's a lot more liquidity up here than there is in these zones. Just keep that in mind. So we are below the EMAs. Price can easily push up, grab liquidity, and can spike up, grab liquidity, and push down again. That's very possible. But keep that in mind because this candle right here is very important to me. It's key. This candle right here, right? This candle and where it stopped. So that low is 2905, I think. Yeah, 2906. Sorry, 2906. Right. That's a important candle because there is a lot of volume in that candle. 350 pip candle, one 130-minute candle, 350 pips. It's a lot of volume coming in. So there's a lot of liquidity up there above 2906 than there is here. Right. So keep that in mind. We'll just put a price point there, 2906. Yeah, 2906. We're just gonna keep our eye on that for news. Just keep an eye on that area for news. Okay. All right. So I'll be back in a few minutes, maybe about 5-6 minutes. There's a lot of time we have to wait. I'll be back in about 5-6 minutes, and then we'll have a look at what price did during the Asian session and the London session. We'll look for the Asian high, the Asian low, London high, London low, and maybe then take a calculated guess on what price may do during the first couple of hours of the New York session. Right. All right. I'll be back in a few minutes. Okay, let's go to the 15-minute chart for this. Where did the market open? There, right there. That's the open candle. Zoom in a bit. This one right here, that's the daily opened at 2897.5, you can, right? Around 289, sorry. 2897.5. Okay, we pushed up, pushed down. Yeah, okay. It's the Asian high right there. 076. 359. Then we have the London high and the London low. 582. Yeah, 943. That's it. Okay. So in the Asian session, we moved quite a bit, 170 pips in the Asian session, and in the London session also about the same amount, 160. So 170 pips in the Asian, 160 pips in the London session. That's a lot of movement for today, for a single day prior to the NY session on a day that we might have a lot of volume. Okay. So yeah, so what price did was price opened here, pushed up, grabbed liquidity from 2900, pushed straight down, created the Asian low, pushed back up, um, grabbed liquidity from this liquidity candle that it created on its way down. Price pushed up, grabbed liquidity from this liquidity candle that we have marked. This is the high liquidity candle, and it's gone past it. So there might be less volume now when it comes there the next time. There'll definitely be less or no volume in that candle because we've come to that zone a couple of times. Once and dropped, twice and dropped. So the next time price does come there, there might be no volume there. We might have a liquidity grab above 2900 for CPI and then push down. Okay, so I'm going to keep my eyes on 2900, this liquidity candle, and 2906. That's the area that I'm eyeing. Okay, I'm eyeing that area for CPI. Just keep that in mind. 2900, the liquidity candle that we marked on the 30 minutes, this one right here, and 2906. That's the area that I'm eyeing. Okay, so let's get back to what we were discussing. Okay, so we came down, created the Asian low, came up, grabbed liquidity from this liquidity candle, pushed down, uh, came, retested the Asian low, couldn't break above it, couldn't break below it, because there was not enough volume to close below the Asian low and head further down. So we pushed back up to grab more volume. Then we grab volume again from that liquidity candle and from the EMAs this time. We grab liquidity from the EMAs. Then we pushed down and closed below finally closed below the Asian low, right? We closed below. We pushed up again. We ranged around 2882 for the rest of the session, right? So once we closed below the Asian low, we just ranged at 2882, just moved sideways. So for the last 3 hours we've been moving sideways, right? The last 3 hours we'll be just moving sideways above and below 2882 and below the Asian low. That's what's important to remember. So we tried many times to close back above the Asian low. We couldn't. And once we did, soon as we did, we came back down and broke the low, right? So that tells us that price is very bearish today. It's very bearish, right? It tried. There is doesn't seem like there is volume to push up because it closed above 2882 just once, right? Here it closed above 2882 and the Asian low at the same time just once. Here it closed above, but then immediately closed back below. Closed above, immediately candle closed back below. Closed above, immediately candle closed back below. But here we closed above 2882 and the Asian low, which means we should have likely gone higher, right? But immediately the candle again closed below the Asian low and 2882 again. Okay, so doesn't seem like there's a lot of volume to push up. There is more bearish volume. This is what this says. The last 1 hour, the last 2 to 3 hours, that's what we've been seeing. There is more volume to push down in the last 2 to 3 hours than there is volume to push price up. Okay, that's what we get that's the reason I do this, to have an understanding of what might possibly happen in the first couple of hours of the New York session. So I'm favoring sells, but I want to obviously can't take any sells now because price is in demand already. Price has to pull back. We're in demand, so of course I'm not going to take any sells. But we have gone through this liquidity candle. You can see there's just probably a couple of pips left. Not even, yeah, about 2 pips left in that liquidity candle, 30-minute liquidity candle, and price has already tapped deep into it. So once we break this liquidity candle low, we might drop all the way down here, right? I don't think this liquidity candle is going to hold, this one that we drew. I think price will come to the one below here. So once we break this low, price should drop another 130 pips easily, 130, 135 pips easily, right? Once we break this low is, let me be precise, the low of that liquidity candle is 2876.21, right? So soon as we get to 2876.2, then we should just drop all the way down another 130 pips easily to this here, right here, to this high, 2863. Okay, but right now there is nothing to be done. We have to wait. Yeah, we got to wait. Gotta wait. It's gotta wait for news. It's another 12 minutes. Yeah, another 10 minutes. We are dropping. We're dropping. I said once we break this low, we should come down here. 2863. Mm, There's a lot of waiting. There is no selling for me. There is no selling because we're in demand already. So unless price pulls back, there is no selling for me. Buying, I would want to see clear M30 support form, right? I would want to see a strong M30 bull candle form creating support to buy. So until I see that, so which that's not happened yet, obviously. So for buy, so no buys until I see M30 support form, and no sells right now because we're inside the demand zone. We're inside this 4-hour demand zone right here. It's a fairly large zone. We're inside that zone. Prices dropping. We should drop here. We should drop to 2863. Another 120 pips away. But I'd like to see that pullback first and then the drops that I can get in on the sells. We've rejected the Asian high again, close below the Asian high, 2882 and the London low. Closed this one candle had so much bearish volume that it closed below all three key areas. The Asian low, 2882 weekly support, weekly SR level, and the London low. All of that in a single candle. So we are pushing down. I need a pullback to be able to get in on sells. Mm, 6 minutes more. Okay. So I'm watching these areas, okay, above above the around 2900 and the liquidity candle above that, this one, and 2906. That's the area I'm watching. That might take time. It might take time for price to get there. And then once it does get there, I want to see a 15-minute bearish candle, strong bearish candle close to take sells, right? That's the idea. Strong 15-minute bearish candle close. If you want, you can always wait for 30-minute resistance also. That's even better. But because it's a high volume day, it might just have to do with a 15-minute strong bearish candle close from that area to come down. That's what I'd like to see. Now, I don't know if the price will come all that way up. We might just come back here, come here, tap this area, and then push down. I don't know. Let's see. But I am favoring sells. I'd like to see a pullback, but price can always just push straight down without that pullback. And you got to be prepared for it. If that happens, so be it. There's just no trade today, right? We'll have to wait for maybe an hour more or 45 minutes more to see if there's an opportunity. Okay, we've got 3.5 minutes. Just have a quick look at this area again. That's 1445, 1430. Okay, let's see if we break this high. 86, 177. Let's see if price pushes and breaks this high. Be interesting to see. Seventy-three, 75. Yeah, we've gone through all the way. So, okay, 2 minutes. Let's see what happens. What numbers are they expecting? 0.3. They're expecting good numbers. Forecast is supposed to be positive. Core CPI expecting positive numbers there. So if it's if that's the forecast, if the numbers that come out is greater than 0.3, then it should be good for the US dollar. Should be good for the US dollar. And then the price should continue to push lower. A minute more. Yeah, there's no 30-minute support forming, so there is absolutely no buys. No buys for me. No buys for me. There is no 30-minute support form. Price is bearish, so I need to see 30-minute support form. There is no 30-minute support form. There's absolutely no buys. There are no sells inside this yet. I want to see a pullback. Let's see where the pullback comes to. How far the pullback is. Okay, this is news. Yeah, boom, straight down, no pullback. Straight down, turn it into this candle right here, 2863. No pullback. Open with no top wick. We should come up to create that top wick at some point, but we're heading to 2863. I said this at the beginning of the stream. 2863 is where we're coming to, and then let's see what happens after that. But 2863, yeah, we're coming there. 2863. There's no pullback at all. Just straight down. 150. 1425 should come down another 25 pips. Yeah. Why 2x60? 2x63 is the next liquidity candle. That is why uh, I do this, because I want to understand where price is going. There's a roadmap. This candle right here. So this high is 2863, exactly 2863, right? So that's where it's coming to that liquidity candle. But there is no opportunity to sell because price didn't pull back. It's just dropped straight from demand. 120, yeah, we should come. It's about 150 pip drop from the entry, from here, from the, I mean the open of the candle. Yeah, 150 pip drop should drop there. We've just broken this, so we should come to 2863. Now I've had this candle marked out since either last week or the beginning of the week, right? That's how important these high liquidity candles are, because the price um, is attracted to them like magnets, like a magnet. It just gets pulled because it's looking for liquidity. That's what it's doing. That's all it's doing. Two eight six four 6422. We should come down a bit more. Should come down. The candle opened with no top wick, right? So at some point, price is going to come up to grab liquidity of this candle. Maybe this candle, maybe a couple of candles after this, or the next candle. But at some point, price is going to come to this high. Yeah, there was no opportunity for sell CPI. It's nothing to do. Now we have to wait. We have to wait for that pullback. We have to wait for price action now. There's literally nothing to do. We've got to wait for this 30-minute candle to close, right? Yeah, the 15-minute candle is very likely going to close bearish. Uh, let's see. Let's wait for the 15-minute candle to close. There's nothing to do until the 15-minute candle closes. 11 minutes more. The move has already happened. The move is already happened. That's 130 pip, 35, 140 pip move down. CPI move. Without a pullback, it's just dropped straight 140 pips. So there is nothing to do right now except wait for this 15-minute candle to close. And then let's look at the chart again and see what information we have. Let's look at the 5-minute. Yeah, there's nothing on the 5-minute either. Just closing a strong bearish candle. Yeah, I'm going to wait for this 15-minute candle to close. So I'll be back in a few minutes. Got about 9 minutes for the candle to close. There's nothing to do until then. See how this candle closes. Let's just take some buys here to push up. Yeah, we're rejecting this area. Let's see how the 15-minute candle closes, but we're rejecting this area, this liquidity candle to push up. No top wick. Yeah, we're pushing up. Yeah. Let's see if we can get up here. Come back down again. Okay, let's see if we can get the 2877. The reason I took this trade is for two reasons. We're rejecting the liquidity candle from the liquidity candle, and this candle has no top wick. So we're pushing up. So quick rejection down, 10 pips. Came up there. I closed most of my positions, just kept one open because we came up to 2877. That was the closest round number to this top wick, to the open of this candle. And let's see if we drop down, we drop down. That's fine. Well, if you push up, then I'd like to see price come to, if this candles flips bullish, that'll be amazing. Then you can put your stop loss under this candle and let it run. This might run all the way up here. Two double 889. 190 pips. If it runs 190 pips. So these trades that I took down here were about 75 to 80 pips. 70, let's say it's between 70 and 80 pips. I think I got in about here, yeah, about 70 to 80, 70 to 75 pips. And then I'm going to let this stop set break even on this trade and see if it runs up to above these highs. Runs up higher here, close to where the EMAs are. If not, it'll come and stop me out, and that's fine. That's absolutely fine. And that'll also be the end of the session. I'm not looking to take any more trades. Just made use of the volume. This was just making use of the volume, basically. I was not waiting for confirmation. As I said, NFP, if you watch the NFP stream, I've said this many times during NFP and CPI. Those are the two events, NFP and CPI. You might not get confirmations on higher time frames. And when I mean higher time frames, I'm talking about 30-minute and 15-minute, because I'm referring to session trading. So you might not get your confirmations, M30 support form, M15 support form. You might get M15 support. You might have to be patient and wait. but most of the, if you watch NFP, the NFP trade, I think the NFP trade that I took as well, that I think that also was buys, I don't remember, but that was also based off of the 5-minute time frame, right? Just these two events, CPI and NFP, just these two, because they're high volatile, high volume events, right? So you might just have to wait for the 5-minute and take. And I was looking for something similar to this for NFP. Um, so the reason for this trade was price came down. I waited for the 5-minute candle to close because we are grabbing liquidity, which means we're grabbing liquidity from that liquidity candle, right? So we can delete these. This one is not needed anymore. That zone is not needed. Neither are these. Okay. So this was the liquidity candle I said price will tap into, and it did tap into that. And then I had a 5-minute candle close, and the candle that create the CPI candle had no top wick. So I said that price would come and grab liquidity from the top of that candle, right? And that's exactly, I said either that current 15-minute candle or the next candle. And that's exactly what price did. So that's why I had my TPs around 2877, 28750 for at the top of that candle. That's where the partial TP was. Now if price runs, I'm holding it for about 200 pips until this candle, this 30-minute candle above these highs, this 30-minute candle that also has no bottom, has no top wick. So around 2889, 2889. If we push up, if there is enough liquidity, if it has grabbed enough liquidity to push up, right? That's the whole idea. We have a wick here, a big wick. Price can always come back into that wick. I'm not willing to take a loss I'm not willing to take any loss on this trade because I've already secured profits. So if it comes down, so be it. I get stopped out. That's absolutely fine. But I'm going to hold it with stops at break even to see if we can push up. If the 30-minute closes bullish, if it closes bullish, then I might bring the stop under the 30-minute candle low and let it run. If the 30-minute closes bullish, that's in 4 minutes from now, right? We'll have to wait and see. Yeah, that's it. That's it. Yeah, that's it. I'm going to wait for this 30-minute candle to close, and then I'll also end the stream. I'm not looking to take any more trades, but if you are watching price for the next couple of hours and you want to take trades, then wait for, if price does get up here, wait for M30, clear M30 resistance to form, clear M30 resistance to form, either from this liquidity candle or to 900 or the liquidity candle above here, clear M30 resistance to form to take a trade to come down, right? If it doesn't, no sells. And if you want to take buys, then wait for price to close, maybe wait for the 4-hour candle to close and wait for the pullback, M15 support to form or M30 support to form to take the buys to go up. But wait for the 4-hour candle to close first, right? Those are the trade ideas for the next 2 to 3 hours. But if you are in buys now, then I've secured partial positions. The rest you can hold it above these candle highs towards very close to the EMA, around 2889 or 2890. All right, yeah, be here for a couple of minutes more. Let's see how the 30-minute candle closes, and then I'll call it a day. Yeah, we seem like we're closing bullish. We're pushing up. It's a liquidity grab to push up. It's nice. I'm gonna push my TP further up, I think. Yeah, we close above the London low. We are heading towards the London high. 2891. Yeah, that's better. So that's about 212 pips, right? From here, 212 pips, if we can get there. Yeah, because we're closing bullish and seem to be closing above the London. We've grabbed liquidity from the liquidity candle. Perfect liquidity grab from that candle. Let's go down to the 15-minute. Yeah, that candle right there. Perfect. And we're pushing up. Wow. Nice push up. So very nice. We should push past this easily. We should push past 2886 easily. So wait for the candle to close. The candle should close above the London low and the Asian low as well. Yeah, we're closing above the Asian low. Yeah, we're pushing up for sure. Yeah, it's nice. It's a nice, strong bullish candle. See, that is why I didn't wait for the 15-minute candle to close. Because the 15-minute, there's a lot of volume. Remember, there's a lot of volatility and a lot of volume. NFP, CPI. So you got to work with the 5-minute time frame. Just for those two news events. Just for those two news events. So we broke 2886. There's no need to keep this on the chart. Yeah. So we might have a pullback now and we continue higher. So I got my final TP at 2891. That's about 212 pips, 215 pips. Okay, that's it. That's the end of the stream. So yeah, it was profitable. Thank God for that. All right, I'll be back tomorrow, 7:30 a.m. EST, and we'll be waiting for PPI tomorrow. Tomorrow will be PPI, and on Friday will be retail sales. So you should have a decent week. Let's see what price does today, how the daily candle closes. If we close back above, if we close bullish, we have come to that area. We've come to that area. If you watch the first 10 minutes of the stream, you'll see that I said that there's daily demand there, and price, the next area of liquidity could be daily demand, and price could come there, and that's exactly where prices come to daily demand. We've tapped that daily demand, and we're pushing up. We've pushed up 220 pips already. And yeah, we pushed up 212 pips already, 212, 213 pips. So we should kind of head out. This is a liquidity grab. This candle has a lot of liquidity. Now, yeah, I'm going to keep my stop loss there. I'm not going to move it. I'm going to leave it there. I'm not going to move it. Yeah, I'm going to keep it there. Let's see. If it comes down and stops me out, so be it. But I'm not willing to lose anything on this trade. My TP is, because price is anyway just about 70, 75 pips away from TP, from that final TP level. Okay, all right. See you guys tomorrow, 7:30 a.m. EST. Take care.